I am the unlucky one in my group, the dungeon master, the creator of stories, the... What are you doing?
I swing my sword at the king.
You what?
Swing my sword at the king.
Yeah, I heard you, but this is the king. I don't think that's wise. Oh, you're rolling the dice before I can even finish. Okay. I did warn you. Hi everyone. As a dungeon master, you have to be prepared for the strangest of situations. The seducing of weird monsters, the constant going off track, the need to kill every single NPC you throw in the game at the player. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my experience from the seat of a DM. My name is James, and I run a lot of campaigns at my university to get people involved in Dungeons & Dragons, and most who say they'll never like it end up loving it. But that comes with the stereotypes that all players seem to succumb to. Firstly, picking a class. Now I know there's research out there that shows that Human Fighter and Elf Ranger are the most popular, but from what I encountered, this could not be further from the truth. Maybe it's the new age of players coming through, or maybe it's the allure of wanting cool things like Fire Breath, Dragonborn, or wanting to look cool, Dragonborn, or just wanting to be badass. I find a lot of players want to be a Dragonborn when they first start. In fact, no one out of maybe 20 who I've made characters with has picked the human, and very few have gone for elves. Most of my players go for tieflings or Dragonborns or the god-sent gnomes. Okay, my microphone stopped working, so I've had to switch to a camcorder. But then it comes to classes, and again, I've still not had a fighter, and only one ranger out of the 20. The most common is... Druid. I know, it's a shock, but when you think about it, it's not entirely surprising. It all comes down to one thing. Animals. As soon as players find out they can pretty much shapeshift at this class, they swallow it up faster than Summer Grove Ale and Sweet Rolls. It is the most played class in all of my campaigns, with nearly half of my players choosing it. This is followed probably by Rogue and then maybe Bard, which is the coolest class in my opinion, but players just seem to love animals, which is not a bad thing at all. In fact, it's fantastic. But not when you're in a deep dark dungeon and there's a wolf. I try to tame it. Okay, roll to tame it. That's a 4. Right, you approach... Can I roll again? No, that's not how the game works. Look, you haven't even tried to tame it yet. Your character is still approaching it. Now look, I love animals as much as the next halfling, but you sometimes have to realise that they can just as easily turn on you and swallow you whole if they get bored of you. Nevertheless, I've had some cool animals in my games, tamed by the players. One gnome started with a sheep, which he rode everywhere, and we spent half an hour trying to get it across a raging river because he refused to leave him behind, only for the sheep to later die that session because the gnome picked a dodgy fight with a jeweler. Or the donkey the half-orc has called Sue, who follows her everywhere, which is actually really cute. Or the baby wyvern one player had, and she sent it to collect some burning papers in a fire. She sent a child to collect something from a fire. Thankfully it survived, but with some horrible scars to constantly remind her she's an awful mother. Or the second sheep our gnome had, who we tried to mount in a tavern, but rolled a 1 on animal handling, and grabbed somewhere a gnome should never grab on a sheep. The sheep then ran away to never be seen again. Or maybe the hag that the gnome shagged in front of a bunch of prisoner refugees. The hag then followed him through the rest of these vaults they were in, only to be later turned into squish pulp by an ettin. Point is, there are a lot of cool moments that involve animals in the story. Whether you are turning into a tiny squirrel or molesting sheep, there's always fun to be had in D&D. And with that, Goodbye. Thank you for listening. The second sheep our gnome had, who he tried to mount in a tavern but rolled a 1 on an... Fuck me, why is this so hard?